Hello, this is Russell from
Tones of Evil.
and you're listening to Capes and Lunatics.
Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on our comic book creator interviews, including our monthly Chichester chats with comic book legend D.G. Chichester, superhero movie brackets in our search for the worst comic book movie of all time, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Luca Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Recording has started. In a world of capes and lunatics, gods and monsters, there will rise a threat that no one hero can handle alone. In those times, a group of heroes will rise. They are the Avengers, and this is Avengers Declassified. I'm your host, Charlie, the Professor Esser. And with me, as always, is the blue-eyed bomber of the Burger Pits.
Phil, me and Perich, or Phil Podcast Perich. Take your pick.
Either one is good by me. So, Philip, today we go to that little town in Connecticut where everything goes wrong. A little town called Pleasant Hill. We are discussing today All New, All Different Avengers, issue 7, then Uncanny Avengers, number 8, and then coming back with All New, All Different Avengers, number 8 again. It's very interesting reading these, because I remember reading these when they first came out, and the thing about the Pleasant Hill saga is that so many of the books just sort of retold the same story as another book, because they had to all connect together.
Yeah.
So it's interesting reading it in this specific order. You cut out a lot of the weird stuff that happens.
And I was we're kind of just trying to focus on like the Kamala, the stuff Kamala's actually in. So yeah, and we'll do like 2 issues next week. Did you hear me?
Yeah. I have no idea what you just said. No, tried to focus on Kamala, and then it just went.
Yeah, no, yeah. We're just focusing on the Kamala stuff. Yeah.
I like the. Oh man, I wonder if in Ms. Marvel we're going to get White Vision show up as her teacher. Wouldn't that be just freaking out? But that is what's interesting. Oh, and that is actually one thing that I kind of felt was another little nitpick from the Ms. Marvel thing. Ms. Marvel is like a super genius character. She's in, this school is actually a magnet school, a science school, so, she shouldn't be struggling with academics the way they show her. But I guess they really wanted her to be relatable to your average teen, the demographic, as they say. So, you don't want to make her too over the top. But, all kids, even smart kids struggle with high school. I know, because I did, and so does my son. So, anyway, moving right along. So she's in class, and the substitute calls her to the board to do the problem. And then as she's doing the project, she turns around and realizes it's actually the Vision, who is super sus about this whole series. And it's funny because for the life of me, I really can't remember exactly where this all falls and all of the Vision's shenanigans that has occurred. And apparently, in the reference in this, at some point, Kang took control of him.
Remember last week the previous all different Avengers issues with when Kang showed up. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I remember when Kang showed up. I just don't remember him taking over the Vision.
Well, remember he had the Vision doing stuff. It's like, oh, Miss Marvel, you endangered people. Get out of here. Stuff like that. Yeah.
Man, I was real drunk the last time we were doing this show, so maybe that's why I don't remember any of it. Yeah, that's why there's only good, clean seltzer water in my cups now. Got to trying to be better, trying to be healthier, and not the year's half over. But anyway, getting back to it. So, but he gives Kamala a VR headset. So, see, Tristan, this would have been the great comic for you. A VR headset that effectively lets her be a founding Avenger and go on every adventure the Avengers ever had. No, it has hand tracking.
How did she?
The way that it's all magical. It's super advanced tech. Well, I think facts and logic would definitely disprove it. But this is comic books; they don't need facts and logic. Getting back to it. So that's the thing that's happening here. What's interesting to me is this gift he gives, because, and again, just because I'm still thinking there's something sus about the Vision here, because just showing up at her school in the middle of the day, giving her this gift. Just, I don't know. I don't trust the Vision. I don't know what he's up to. Bad things could be happening, but regardless, we have an adventure to have, Phil.
Yes.
Yes, because I believe Tony Stark gets called to the scene where Miles Morales is fighting a radioactive guy covered in bandages. I forget his name.
Yeah, it's an old character. Yeah,
we're supposed to care.
Yeah, no, it's some old character. I don't even remember this guy, but
yeah. Well, he kind of reminds me of the Negative Man from what's that show? What's that?
Doom Patrol
show in Doom Patrol. Where he's like radioactive and he's just covered in these bandages. So part of me thinks, that's what they were referencing there. And maybe at the end of the day, that is exactly what they were doing. As it stands, they get in their fight, and we see Maria Hill show up to take them to, not to take them to Pleasant Hill, but to take this person back to Pleasant Hill, because obviously supervillains are waking up and are causing problems. And I believe was it the Wizard who figured it out, or was it because at one point someone references the Wizard. Well,
I know they see him walking down the street in Pleasant Hill, but yeah, I don't know. And the ones we read, that's probably the only time you see him, I think.
Yeah, well, I know that he was there, and I know that there was one super genius who figured something out. I can't remember who it was. It might have been the Mad Thinker, and he figured out how to break out of it, and then do the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And actually, the Pleasant Hill stories are interesting, just in the fact that they have a connection, and the other lives that are created for these people. It's both sad and terrible and horrifying, as Miles Morales, I think it's Miles Morales says, that sounds awful. It's also a very, very personal story for them, because they're still human beings and they're experiencing all these emotions they're having. And Crusher Krell in this actually has a really interesting arc, because he's actually, I believe, the town sheriff. Mm-hmm. And so that's interesting, but that's not in this book, because this book is about them coming to Pleasant Hill, realizing that things are very wrong there, and then running afoul of the Cosmic Cube. Kobik is her name, and she puts them all to sleep, which, of course, leads us to Uncanny Avengers number 8, which, again, this is one of these books where I kind of feel like it was, there was a lot of stuff that was handled in other books that,
mm-hmm.
where you start to see these X's and there's a repeating pattern to it, and we kind of just get the gist of it here, which is the story of how Rogue was trained to handle psychic attacks, all of the memories and keys, and the X that she keeps on seeing is the key to let her know something's wrong in Pleasant Hill.
Mm-hmm.
That's what lets her know that she is under attack. Now, once she does break out, she goes to her neighbor Chet and sets him on fire because she recognizes him as the Human Torch. And it's funny because we don't really see that on panel. It's just I think in one issue it is shown on panel, and then in this one they just sort of cut to it. They cut to after the fact, and he's like, you're just lucky I really was the Human Torch, because that would have been really crazy. And then they have to locate all the other people. And again, I think that in some of the other books, there's actual arcs and stories. I think it's in the Pleasant Hill, Alpha, Omega, and all these other books, that they had where they dealt more in depth with all these things. And then this one, they're sort of just hitting the beats for those who aren't getting the main books. Mm. But I love the fact, and again, just like in Deadpool Secret Wars at the time, they give a glorious mustache.
The Deadpool, yeah.
To Deadpool, yes, and it's first off, I love the fact that he has a glorious mustache. I love the fact that they did that it was and it's the exact same parallel to what they did in Deadpool Secret War about when he does get his face back and he does get healed. But it's just a little sadness because, of course, once they break him out, and then they're like, and they realize like, oh, if we break Deadpool out of this, he's going to go back to being Deadpool. And it's like, and it's one of these weird things where it's like, is it better to just leave him like this and let him be happy, or do you do what you have to do and just break the curse? It's a little hard, and we do see him when he realizes it. Just effing Connecticut, as you do. I believe. At that point we get to because I'm trying to remember here. Oh, we also, of course, they do break out Kamala Khan in this as well. Where they just get her to wake up as well, and they do find the Vision, and the Vision was the pianist at the piano store who was just constantly playing, and but he's on a loop. He's a robot on a loop. And again, like I said, I think they go into more depth in some of these books in the expanded canon around it. So, when you do these big crossover events, it's interesting because you can read just these books and you get the gist of it. Mm-hmm. You get the digest of what happens. You understand what was occurring, what it was following. But at the same time, you also realize that there was a lot more story, a lot of really good told stories in this too.
Oh yeah.
Who did the Pleasant Hill run? Who was this? Who was the mastermind behind Pleasant Hill?
Let me see.
That wasn't Bendis, was it?
I don't think, but here I'm gonna look it up. But I did look up that guy in the bandages in the beginning was Night Phantom, who's like an old enemy of Iron Man's. He showed up like maybe 3 whole times. I think they said the first time was like Iron Man, the original Iron Man 45. So
yeah.
So
and even that name kind of sounds like he's meant to be Mr. Negative.
Yeah. Well, I think it said he's even he was like an android or something. So.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. Here, I'm looking this up. Nick Spencer was the big mastermind behind that.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, and this it's a really good series.
Yeah.
And it's also weird to me because I think that this is still during Old Man Cap's run. So this is when we have Old Man Cap.
Well, yeah, this is the storyline where the Cosmic Cube girl de-ages Steve Rogers, but then that gives us the whole Hydra Cap thing going forward. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Which means he wasn't Hydra Cap at the start of this, but when she brings him back because it's the Red Skulls. That's just so evil, that Red Skull. But the Red Skull is such a jerk, and all everything they've ever. It's
dead now.
And
wasn't the Red Skull at this point this storyline? What like you like to point out? Wasn't it like that clone of the Red Skull? Who showed up at the
it was a clone of the Red Skull from the 1940s, who then stole Xavier's brain.
Yes,
and had it put inside his brain, which We don't know how that works, but they did it, and then I love that they just like cut him open again and just take out Xavier's brain and put it back in Xavier's body because science. It's amazing what they can do with brains nowadays, and yeah, so that's that. And then of course that Red Skull dies very unceremoniously. Oh no, that's right. They brought him back with Lucan. So yeah, that's right. Red Skull's back. I forgot he came back with Lucan. Now that Red Skull, that's the real Red Skull.
Yeah.
The one that's bonded to Lucan. Yes. Not this old tapes of Insola's attic, you know.
Although I know you'll probably say the original Red Skull is dead because supposedly he died in Captain America 300, but then remember Grunwald brought him back in a cloned body of Steve Rogers, so.
Yeah, you know. And again, it's just all a bunch of old memory tapes. So, you know, really. So really, again, it's just like when you go to Mephisto's realm, there's like a whole room of Red Skulls. You know.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. He's talking to his friend. Why do they never talk about the guards who were murdered in Jurassic World? Because they're cannon fodder. You know. That's what happens to cannon fodder.
Well, yeah. Again, I mean, there are certain jobs. It's like who works for the Joker. You know.
You'd think. I guess people without real prospects or people that are fanatics. I mean, that's the thing. Is like the Joker's gotten crazier now. It's like, oh, we follow the Joker because he is the spirit of chaos. And blessed be his name. I don't know.
Great dental plan. I don't know. Something.
No, I don't. No, I don't think. You know, who knows? Maybe he does. Maybe the Joker does actually have great benefits. Yeah.
Must be some reason.
Okay. Well, there you go. Yeah, his friend is telling him what happens in Jurassic World Dominion, and apparently it is not a good film according to his friend.
Oh my!
So, but anyway, getting back to this, we get to the big battle, and we get back to all new, all different Avengers, and it's very chaotic. And you know, poor little Kobik, she's like, "What's going on?" And you know, all this. Why is all the villains are waking up and everything's getting bad, and I just wanted everyone to be nice. And I love that the solution, or actually what I love is that Kamala and Miles realize, you know, we gotta talk her down. She's just a scared little girl, you know. And even says she's scared like us. I mean, she's scared, you know. And you know, it says, well, you know, better us talking to her than. Oh no! And it's Wade Wilson. But again, at this point in Wade Wilson's arc, this is actually we are getting some of the best Deadpool storytelling.
Yeah,
that we're ever going to get.
It's like a redemption arc because even like some of them are giving him crap about being on an Avengers team. He's like, hey, Steve Rogers picked me. You want to have a talk? Go talk to Steve Rogers. And then you know it gets in Tony Stark's face. He's like, oh, look at you, Mister. Forming your Cradle Robin Avengers team. Come on.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's that. But I mean, like, even in other Deadpool books at this time, they really got into what it means to be a meta hero. And by meta, I mean a being that is beyond the fourth wall.
Yeah. And
what that means to him and what that comic awareness does to you as you evolve. And so in that way, he is actually like the best person to speak with a Cosmic Cube, to interact with a Cosmic Cube. Like I said, at the time this came out, this was right at the time of Deadpool Secret War coming out.
Yeah.
And Deadpool Secret War, again, has Deadpool going on this cosmic level adventure and really unraveling things that worked out amazingly well, you know? And it's a beautiful way that they wrote Deadpool. I'm not reading the current Deadpool. I don't know if he's as deep and interesting as he was at the time.
There's not a current Deadpool right now.
That's where I really fell in love with Deadpool. Oh, there's not a current Deadpool? Oh, okay. Well, you know. They got to figure out how they want to tone him because they're making the Deadpool 3.
Yes.
You know, that's the thing. The Deadpool 3, it's going to be whatever it's going to be.
Yeah.
But
no, I like how they brought. I like how they got through to her, the Kobik, by she looked in Wade Wilson's head and they're all like, uh-oh. But he's like, no. He's like, yeah, people are using you. People have used me. He's like, yeah, this is how you move forward. This is how you go past it. And I like that they went that direction with it.
Yeah, well, because as I said, this is an era where Deadpool is getting written very well, in my opinion, and I really like that. And that's when she wakes up all the heroes, and the heroes can beat up the bad guys, as you do. But then Kobik disappears, and that's when we get into we're going to get into Pleasant Hill Omega next. I think they even say that the next issue is Pleasant Hill Omega.
Well, we're going to do
which is
I was going to say we're going to do that one, and we're going to do Sam Wilson Captain America #8. So yeah.
Oh, we are going to do that.
Yeah, so 2 issues next time.
Is that
yeah.
our next books we're reading?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, well, good to know. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I do like Sam Wilson's Captain America too, so that's good too. Yeah, but I mean, overall, I really enjoyed this story. Like I said, I really enjoyed the Pleasant Hill arc. I really enjoyed what we've seen with the all different Avengers. I really think it was a really interesting team, a really fun team that was put together and, built a good story out, with these new legacy heroes, In fact, almost all legacy heroes except for Iron Man. Because it's the new Cap and the new Thor, the new Spider-Man, the new Ms. Marvel, and the new Nova. And I like how, Old Vision. So Old Vision, Old Tony Stark, 2 heroes, but are also taking over legacy brands, but then also bringing in this new generation through. So that I think was really beautiful. And yeah, as Avengers stories go, I think it's a neat story. And then this is also, interestingly enough, who are going to eventually form the Champions, especially when young Cyclops comes back.
Yes,
and that's like the one X-Men book that's like, when they get Stretch Summers back, Teen Stretch Summers to be. And then he joins them, and then I love how it just comes back into a whole thing where it's like when they run into older Cap or older Cyclops later, he's like, "No, I remember." Yeah, it's once a champion, always a champion. I like those books too. The Champion books were very good in their first arc. The ones they had for a while. Is there still a Champions book? I don't think there is at the moment.
I don't think. I mean, I could see them bringing a lot of those characters back. Like if they do like a Young Avengers, if they do like a TV show or movie, they'll do like a Young Avengers and maybe fold in like Miles and Kamala and stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, obviously they're gonna be doing a Young Avengers thing on Disney.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're not. I mean, that's the thing. Because everyone says, "Oh, they're going to do a Young Avengers." Like, I don't know. Maybe they won't. Maybe they're just going to have all these young characters running around doing their own things, or they won't be called the Avengers. They'll be called the Champions.
I could see that.
That's a possibility as well. Okay, Phil. You want to talk a couple of Avengers comic books?
Sure. Yeah, some new stuff. Let's do it.
Yeah. So the one actual Avengers comic book I picked up this week was Savage Avengers #2.
Yes.
This is an interesting book because, of course, they flipped our Conan Lost in the 20th Century story and worked in a new concept here, which is Conan and all of these other Savage Avengers are back in the Hyborian Age, and it is about all of the adventures that they're having here. Including, I believe it's Conan and Anti-Venom, along with Dagger, showing up at a slave revolt, and still getting captured.
Yeah.
And then you got Cloak and Daredevil fighting Devil Dinosaur, which is awesome. And I like the thing they do with Daredevil in this, where she's like, it'd be so easy to just kill it, but you know what? I don't want to do that anymore. Matt Murdock has made me a better superhero. So good for her. Good for her. And then I like the idea of Cloak just taking Devil Dinosaur into his cloak, although it a lot to take in, and he just collapses, and then they all get captured again by the people. And then, of course, Deathlock is doing his best Terminator bit, and, gets accosted, and then, basically beats everyone up, but says, I need to get to weapons, and then he just forges himself
from scratch,
a gun. Yeah, which I don't know if that really works, but okay, sure, why not? I can think of like a bunch of weapons that would have been easier and probably better equipped than to just try and manufacture gunpowder and make bullets. Because not for nothing, that is a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
And even though he can do it, sure, it's taking a lot of time out of his day. It's like 3 weeks later. But anyway, he was super fast. But, I like Weapon H. Weapon H is a very interesting character. I've never really read anything about Weapon H before, but I'm really enjoying him. I like how he thinks that, we were talking to the Black Knight. He says, can't you just talk to them as one of their own? He says, what, you think they're knights? He's like, no, jerks or something like that. Less family-friendly word. And then, Black Knight jumps out the window, and Weapon H is like, you idiot, neither one of us can fly. He's like, oh well. But then he actually now has more powers. Now he can turn into a harpy. So now he's Weapon Harpy. So that's cool. And it's weird because we've never seen a male harpy before, but I like it. This is actually a neat new take on the Hulk. And we get to Conan and Dagger in the cell, and Dagger basically calls BS on all of his. I only need me. I am alone, and yada yada yada. She's like, oh, shut up.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I would not have survived as long as I have without the people that always have my back, and having their backs in turn. And this is part of what we get here because, of course, we get our big showdown with the Deathlock. They have to have a fight, but of course, then they all get back together. They have their big fight. Cloak releases the devil dinosaur, and everyone escapes on a little boat. Meanwhile, you have Thula Doom being resurrected because they're going to kill Conan and bring back Set, as you like to do. And Conan even makes a mention earlier that, as much as he hates women, he thinks the girl is right, and he's only going to survive this with the help of the other. So, big thumbs up for another Conan book, even though we're not supposed to have these anymore. It's contraband. Loving me, the Savage Avengers and the Devil Dinosaur.
Well, I thought they said they could do the team book. It's just they couldn't do his solo book for eventually.
Yeah, something like that. Until they decide to get back together and be friends again.
Yeah, or you can't put his name.
It's like Sony. Yeah, it's like Sony and Spider-Man.
Yeah,
where Sony's gonna say we're gonna make our own Spider-Man movies. And they'll be good, we think. And then it's like they're gonna make their own Conan comic books, and they'll be good. They hope. And then it's like, no, they weren't good. And then it's like, no, of course not. Would you like to let Marvel make them again, and they can give you money? It's like we just want to give you money. Can you let us tell our stories?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't people like money? It's all very confusing, Phil.
All right, you probably didn't. Sorry, you probably didn't. You probably didn't read them, but I got 2 Thor books. First,
I read one of the Thor books.
Oh, which one did you read? Jane Foster.
I read Jane Foster. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you want to talk about Hulk Thor, I'd love to hear what happens. I did download it, but I didn't get the chance to read it.
Banner of War Part 4. Remember, at the end of the last issue, Thor's been hulked up, so.
Yeah.
So he's going nuts, and again, of course, Banner's no longer in control of the Hulk, so you're getting Hulk smash, Thor, and all this, and Tony Stark's just stuck there going, "What's going on?" And then you have.
He's always late to the party.
I know. Then you have Sif trying to pull Thor back to Asgard, but Hulk Thor fights it and kind of breaks the Rainbow Bridge. So.
Again.
But so yeah, I am, and then Banner's in Odin's brain. He goes, "You're probably not going to like this, but I need a favor if you want to stop Thor." So Odin gives him his favor. I guess he turns off those safety whatever on the hammer because Thor's been hulked up. Well, Hulk's got the hammer now.
Oh, so Hulk now has
yes.
Thor. So Hulk has picked up Mjolnir.
So now both of them are like half.
Thor upgrade.
Yeah, so now both of them are like half Hulk, half Thor. Yeah, because Thor's like, you steal Thor's hammer, and Hulk even goes, I. So.
Yes. Okay.
So yeah, Odin let him use the hammer.
Then they fight. Let them fight.
Yeah, I think there's only like maybe one more or two more parts. Yeah, I think there's like one more part. That's it.
Yeah, well, because they got to do a Hulk, and then they'll finish up in the Thor.
Oh, but then after Banner of War,
And then they'll do a new Hulk story.
But we're getting another team up after Banner of War. We're getting Thor and Venom coming at in the next Thor book.
Okay. Yeah. This all seems very
cash grabby,
money grabby crossover. Yeah, this is all like.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like when they did World War Hulk, and then everyone got turned into a Hulk. First off, this is not the first they turned everyone into a Hulk. In fact, everyone has been a Hulk 100 times. Just like everyone was a Venom once. It's like, you've done this. Don't do it again. Do a new story. Please.
All right.
Anyway, so yeah, that's good.
But yeah, you said you read Jane Foster in the Mighty Thor?
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the... So, first off, do you know who the witch with the mask is in the start? The one making all the deals?
I don't, but I'm assuming it's supposed to be a mystery. Yeah, I didn't recognize her, so I'm...
Okay, it is supposed to be a mystery. Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, that's what I wasn't sure about. It's like, should I know who this is?
Yeah.
Because like, part of me was looking at it because it's like a little like mask that goes over her face. I'm like, wait, is that like Jane Foster with the mask? I wasn't sure what that was there.
Yeah.
Or maybe see now I'm theorizing. Now I'm theorizing that that's the Thor persona of Jane. That kind of like how Don Blake kind of got shoved off.
Yeah.
When you didn't need him anymore, and this is like what's that essence of that wants to go back to being Jane, but like so this is her big plot to get Jane back to being Thor,
Mm-hmm.
just in time for the movie. So that's my fan theory. We'll see if it holds up, guys. Yeah, and so this is this supposed to be Curse? The leader of the Dark Elves?
I believe so, yeah.
Because he seems a lot buffer than he used to be. Didn't Curse used to be a more scrawny guy?
I think
his face
originally it was scrawny, then they put him in like a weird suit and he was big, so, I mean...
Okay, well, he's bulked. He's been in prison, so what are you going to do? He's going to live so, yeah. Yeah, we're going to, got a lot of gains, because he's stuck in a prison, so it's just he's lifting rocks, building his strength up. Lead some Dark Elves in a war with Asgard again, because why not? That's what they always do. Likewise, he's just really happy to say, you want me to beat up Asgardians? Sure. And get me out of prison? Okay. Which is also kind of like, sounds like what they tell Crusher Krell, or Crusher Creel. You want to get out of prison and beat up Sure. Sure, I got my Tuesdays free, So that's nice, and that gets to what the whole war is here. And apparently someone is sending, I guess, extra-dimensional robot bombs to kill people? Which is interesting.
Yeah, weren't they like black hole bombs at some point? Like they're bombing Asgard or whatever? Weren't they like black hole? Like,
well, that's an Asgard. I'm actually coming back to the start of the book.
Yeah,
where we get Roz and we get Roz and what's her name? And Jane Valkyrie Jane working on this case, and we see that how she sees everyone's death and how she can see when someone's about to die, and then she sees when everyone is about to die, so that she can see who has this special weapon to kill everyone. And then they do capture the guy, although the one woman does die, and then she takes her to the afterlife because, when I was a little girl in Scandinavia, I used to pray to Odin, dreamed of going to Asgard. It's like, well, guess what? You get to go to Asgard. Oh, by the way, it's about to go to war.
No.
Wackiness will ensue. Don't think too hard about it. Meanwhile, so this is an interesting question to me. So this is Rune, and this is the movie Valkyrie character, right?
I believe
Is that
so.
what that's supposed to be?
I was a little confused, but I think so, yeah.
Because I'm wondering if that's the same one that was in the Exiles with Captain Carter. So that's a weirdness to me, because that is actually, weirdly enough, that is actually canonical in the 616, because they eventually brought in Becky Barnes back, who mentioned her adventures with the Exiles. So it's crazy, but yeah. So there's somewhere in the 616 there is a Captain Carter, although that might be the Peggy Carter that we already met, and she's just not telling Cap who she is and how she got there, because that's the thing. Anyway, so all of a sudden, she forgets the carrots for her horse. Horse does not like that.
Yes, I like the horse.
And yes, Rune is on a date, which is cute. And then all of a sudden, Thor's hammer smashes in, covered in blood. And that's when the battle starts, and that's when Jane grabs it. And she feels the power of Thor, but then she says no. And then Odin is like, how dare you refuse the power of Thor? And in my mind, I am really hoping they got what's his name?
Anthony Hopkins.
Sir Anthony
Hopkins, yeah.
To be in the hammer.
Yes.
And just be yelling at everyone in the hammer as the voice of the hammer. You're too good for the power of Thor. Yeah, but anyway, this is fun. But then she's like, "You'll see what I am capable of." And then they tell Rune she's got to go, send Horse to get her, and then they go off to join the battle and search for Thor. And then we see this was that when the little lady who's been making all the deals, she goes to the Enchantress.
Yep.
And she's like, "Yeah, they're all fools because they all think they can beat you. Just know I'm not a fool. I don't even want to try. I did what you wanted. You just give me Thor." Because she is so thirsty for Thor.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like to the point where it's like, if you ever got Thor, are you sure you want him? Because you've been building this up for a long time. Granted, he is Thor, but still.
Well, now he's the ruler. Now he's the All-Father. So now he got even more power. So
yeah, although he's not going to be, because we even see when we flash to him and he's fighting the big snake, he's kind of Teen Thor again.
Yeah, he looks kind of scrawny. Yeah.
So it's interesting. Yeah, I'm wondering what we're going to see here. Wondering what it's going to be. But it's an exciting book. Definitely going to go on my list because I really enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, I think it's only.
Any thoughts on it?
Yeah, no, I'm here for it. I think it's like a miniseries. I think it's like 4 or 5 issues. But yeah, no, I'm here for it, and I liked it a lot.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say I like it better than what they're doing in Thor right now, because especially so. I guess and like the next one isn't even going to be following the Hulk. It's going to just Thor and Venom.
Yeah, no, because the last part's going to be in the Hulk book. So yeah.
Okay, and then what do you think the Hulk's going to do next? Anything?
I have no idea, unless they go back to what he was doing. Unless he's traveling the multiverse again. I don't know.
Yeah, I want him to just go back to hitchhiking, working odd jobs, trying to stay ahead of Jack McGee, or Jackie McGee, because he still owes her money, and she's like, "Banner, where's my money?
And
make me come to get you."
And I think there's something. I think there's something in his head, or so, something that whatever. I think something was masquerading as Betty, but so.
Yeah.
There's still.
I have no idea what you just said.
I said I think there's something in his head masquerading as Betty Banner, and they still got that mystery about how a bunch of people died in what was that, San Antonio or something. So, hello.
Yeah. Whatever you're saying, the universe does not want me to know.
Brilliant.
It just freezes. every time you try to say it. So.
I just hope that I'm just saying. I think they're got some mysteries in the Hulk book they got to clear up.
To the show later.
Okay. Yay. All right. So should we get out of here?
Anyway.
Should we get out of here?
I think we're running out of time. Yeah. So
TikTok.
anyway, Phil, why don't you tell people how they can buy wonderful aluminium mugs and call us and write to us and do all of those things?
Beautiful aluminium mugs.
I think they do.
That's right, they do. That's right, Tristan Esser. Yes, they do. All right. So yes. Send your thoughts on all things Avengers. Email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can follow Avengers Declassified on Facebook, on Twitter. Find links to all the various social medias for all the shows we do, Facebook, Twitter, Facebook groups. Well, there you go. So find all the solicits, the YouTube channel, the Patreon, again, creator interviews, superhero movie brackets, finding the worst superhero movie of all time, and, of course, as the Essers said, Capes and Lunatics merchandise, aluminum cups, phone cases, a bunch more. So find it all in one.
Fill your mugs with battery acid.
Oh, that's not good. All right, all in one place. That's Linktree, linktr.ee/capesandlunatics. Charlie Esser, where can people find you on the internet?
Well, if they'd like to write to me in that old-fashioned email way, the way our mothers and fathers once did, they can do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. And, of course, follow me on the Twitters. I live tweet things when I feel like it, at Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEsser. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality. Bing.
Bing, bing.
Thank you, Maz. And you have come to the end of another episode of Avengers Declassified. This podcast will self-destruct in 10 seconds.
So yeah, come back next week for Captain America Sam Wilson number 8 and the Assault on the Pleasant Hill Omega. And some new books. I think that new Steve Rogers Captain America book comes out next week. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I think he's just agreeing with me because he can hear me.
Oh, goodness. I'm going to make sure my Wi-Fi works better next week.
All right. Come back next week. Assemble next week.
The swamp, more than merely a place. It is a churning, seething, bubbling bed of life, of which you are a part. Once you were a man, a chemist named Ted Salas, until one little experiment went somewhat awry. And you changed. The serum that was to have made you a super soldier, combined with the strange forces in the swamp, to make you over into this, a shambling, mindless mockery of your former humanity. The macabre Man-Thing. Man-Thing was created in the early 1970s to capitalize on the growing monster craze, but under writer Steve Gerber it became something quite different. Experimental, surreal, and very, very weird. It was something I loved as a kid, but does it still hold up today, 4 decades after its initial publication? So join me, Paul Matthew Carr, as I attempt to make sense of this cult classic and analyze each issue, putting it in the context of the time it was written and comparing it to the standards of today. And maybe you too can come to love the world's second most famous swamp-based comic book character as much as I do. The Nexus of All Realities, a Man-Thing podcast, a twice-monthly dive into the bizarre.